shit, from a creative standpoint, I'm like, I'm a TV writer. I do stand up, all these things. I talk about it all the time. And I'm just like, in terms of what you said about, I guess in reference to just design in general, and thinking that you can sort of plant these little seeds in your work that'll eventually grow. And just like, I was the same way for a long time, just thinking like, and people still are this way, just thinking about it in terms of representation, and you just have to see these certain things. You have to see these ideas, and like, it's true that nobody's acting on things that they haven't seen and don't know are possible. Right. But like,
low bar though.
The bar is very low.
Yeah.
And that in terms of TV writing, especially in terms of like WGA sanctioned shit, it's like that representation becomes an end in itself. Where now people are just happy to see, whether it's, I'm happy to see, I can't believe this person is the first like Asian actor to win this thing, and we finally did it, we finally made it, and just like, we have to start looking beyond just, first of all, does it not get exhausting to keep finding first like things that people of color haven't done yet?
Diversion, they can't ever let go of that shit.
And it's like, they can do it forever too.
We got
They can do it forever. They can create new institutions. They can always create new institutions. And
they were the first one.
And say, well, you're the first black person to win a fucking Binky fucking Binky award. Like, what the fuck is that?
That sounds like it's like an award for like,
that's like the next Webby.
That's the
toy designers.
That's the new Kids Choice Award.
The Blimpy. Is that
the
what that shit's
Blimpy?
called?
Yeah.
It's like the 1,000 different Webbies that arrived. Like,
right.
Oh my god.
I wanted to say, I first kind of like, in the design context, I first felt this when I was working retail for opening ceremony. And we would do clinics with these designers, like big ones, like Wales Bonner would come in. It was like really intimate. We would just talk with them about their new line or whatever. I'm specifically thinking of Wales because, and no disrespect to her, but you could tell like this was like her art, you know, like the way she was actually putting some really like, you know, drawing on heavy themes and like coming from this heavy place. And, but me working in that shitty ass environment, it was that disconnect, that juxtaposition was just, it was like, whoa, like you as a designer are so like disconnected or just don't care about the distribution end of like what's happening after your art gets made. And it also ties to another thing with designers in fashion too, around like, you know, ideas of like sustainability and like you know, there's a lot of you know, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. You know, there's a lot of rhetoric given to
blank washing, just fill in community washing, greenwashing.
There's a lot of like talk given to like, oh, you know, go against fast fashion and go, but it's like your brand is still producing new shit. At the point of production, you're going to these same, you know, outsourced, you know, manufacturers that are wasting water, wasting all of these, and even if you're not mass producing whatever it is, like you're still a part of the fucking problem.
Hashtag slow fashion. Hashtag slow fashion.
My fashion is very slow.
It's the heaviest clothes, and it's really hard to walk around if you're slow when you wear them.
Look at all these kids, they're barely breaking a sweat in here.
I started like a whole document I kind of revisit every few months, but just like maybe I shared it with you, I don't know, but just sort of like trying to outline what you know, a social ecological fashion would be, you know, and like drawing from what Kropotkin said about, you know, luxury, like the problem with luxury isn't you know, that it's nice, you know, it's that niceness based upon a foundation of exploitation and like keeping people out, keeping others from having access. And also thinking about design and clothing as a form of just self-expression. And it's like there's nothing inherently wrong with expressing yourself through clothing, but the brand, the commodity, that's where it's like where you're getting into fucked up territory. So with the ecological element, it's like, we can't just keep
like, but I think what you were saying before of like the expression part of like creativity and how much people are still stuck in this sort of like creativity in art, and whether it's in fashion or TV or like anything, it's like it's to express yourself. Like that's the whole goal. It's why people are in it, and it's like, oh wow, I'm getting to express myself. Like Will's, I'm sure, same thing. Like she feels blessed probably that she gets to express herself through this and like live off of it.
Right.
And it's sort of like that's where the creative or the cognitive dissonance starts. Sort of like still stuck in this postmodern like Iowa writers workshop, like full, it's all about the individual expression. That's the holy grail of creativity rather than like expressing new values. But it's like, I don't know, I have a hard time sometimes. I don't want to like judge people too soon.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because it's so many people are just like stuck on that hamster wheel. It's like,
so where's the alternative? Like,
exactly.
Someone
There's nothing
has
to point
to.
to.
Exactly. Yeah, and I second that also. Just
like, what did you? I missed that.
There's nothing to point to for people. Like there's nothing to be like. No, but look, you can do it like this because there isn't. So to then be, you should be the first to show everybody to do it like that. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah, right. People really believe that there's no alternative shit.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Imagination.
Yeah.
I'm like thinking of all the like times you've heard people be like, it's luxury, but everyone can afford it. We're gonna make it affordable for everybody.
Yeah,
to buy it.
Everything is
like,
a marketing
that's not the point.
Yeah.
You lost the point.
Everything's
the
a
point's
marketing
that it's
piece.
cost prohibitive.
And it's crazy in terms of like, I mean, not specifically in fashion, but in just artistic expression in general, that like convenience mindset has infiltrated just something as basic as like clothing, which. Even if you shop more than the average person, you still have clothes that you cycle through that you wear all the time, and like the convenience shit doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No.
And so I'm thinking about in terms of like ways to express yourself through that. I'm just like thinking about like in Nigeria, like you can just buy a strip of fabric. Like there's no places to just buy a strip of fabric and just make shit.
Right.
But like the way we think about things is now is like, oh, I don't have time to just make my own clothes. I don't have time for that. And all these things sprout up to sort of account for that. And I was thinking about AI earlier today, and like, I don't necessarily believe it's going to replace artists. I don't think that's possible. But there is this notion of just like, as we drive ourselves further into this hamster wheel shit, into this like, in this like grinding work mindset, and more people are just prohibited from creating and expressing in the way that they want to. I think people are going to start to take solace in the fact that just not even that they get to create themselves, but that creation is still happening. And so the fact that art is still being made is somehow gonna like distract people from the fact that no humans are making it.
Right.
I think there will absolutely still be artists among the privileged class.
I feel like
obviously,
it'll take out like a big chunk of like the graphic design in the world. All this shit, like every birthday sign with SpongeBob and Deadpool on it, like every restaurant, like sign with Jokerman font, like all those will just be AI generated.
Oh yeah,
people will type in a website. Just won't require any.
Just the fronts of every daycare center where they just put like proprietary characters.
Every
Sesame Street,
every wedding invite, like everything. No human's gonna be designed.
Cars in front of the daycare.
That's the thing with like machine, but any technology, it's like it wouldn't be a problem if it arrived in the future that we would all like to see, because
democratic,
machine learning, image making, all these kind of things that it's doing. Yeah, it's gonna take away the shitty jobs. Like I don't want to do image search. Like that's the worst part of my job. It's the sort of repetitive. Like I already know what the image is in my mind. I have to like Google and stuff. Like if a machine thing can help me do that, that just takes away the shitty labor, except that in this world, the shitty labor is the people that need that labor. So, obviously it's like, it's not such a bad thing for some of these jobs to be replaced. except that in a world that has an hierarchical job structure, that is a problem.
It's like, how do we got to create more jobs for the people that can't make art anymore. They need money.